Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Christensen. And my quote, dang it, I was going to say, I have a rule. I never follow the same person more than once. And then I broke that rule. Something like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Exact rule. So, and we've got Jordan Christensen.
You're following girls? Oh, no, it's not a thing.
And Cameron Mickle.
Just because you broke into people's homes doesn't mean you need to look like a fetching burglar.
And we have Nick.
You take it away and show them what they had.
Yes. Ooh. Wasn't that a crazy speech, dude?
Line.
That was like eerie.
Oh wait, I just thought of mine. The one I actually really wanted to say that I wrote down in my notes is, everyone's box tells a story.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually the second one I had written down. Yeah, that
Everyone
one.
has a box.
The diary one. Yeah, it's like a diary. Everybody wants to.
So freaking good. Guys, we're getting into it. This movie, guys, we're talking about a crazy movie. This movie is called Following. It was written and directed by Christopher Nolan.
Not to be confused with The Following with Kevin Bacon.
That's a good show, too.
Is it really?
I liked it.
Which I almost watched.
Yeah, I almost watched it, but I heard it wasn't good from somebody. So
what?
I didn't, but
I liked it.
I liked
I
it.
think it was the ratings, but I wanted to see it.
It's a little dark. But the first season's
sure.
pretty good, actually. I don't know about the other ones, though.
Yeah, first season.
So we're reviewing this movie as this came out in 1998. It's Christopher Nolan's foray into full-length feature film. It's a young writer who follows a stranger for material meets a thief who takes him under his wing. It stars Jeremy Theobald, that's a good English name, Alex Haw, Lucy Russell, John Nolan, Dick Bradsell, and Gillian Elkady, Jennifer Angel, and Nicholas Carlotti. So let's get into this movie. What are your two favorite things? Oh no, what was it like watching the movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? I'll start. This is my first time watching this movie, and I had it on good faith that Jordan said, it's Nolan's first film. It's not my favorite, you need to go back and watch it. It's kind of boring. Watched it, and I was like, darn it, Jordan, why did I ever listen to you? This isn't a great movie. This is a great crime mystery thriller. This is like Alfred Hitchcockian. Like, when I saw that Criterion logo came up in front of it, I kind of perked up too.
Me
I'm
too.
like, oh, it's important. It's important. Like, I guess I have to pay attention now, or I have to like it. No, it's quite the opposite. This movie is very enjoyable. Movies that are good and like essential to like movies and film, they can still be very fun to watch, and this movie was exactly that. So, loved it. Let's go with you, Jordan. What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Explain yourself.
Okay, well, the first time I watched it, I fell asleep. So I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It was really slow, and I was expecting something different because you see I watched all of Christopher Nolan's movie, and it was the last one on the list. I'm like, well, I got to watch it, and I watched it, and I'm like, it wasn't.
There's a reason
like,
it was last on the list.
well, it just wasn't like any of his other films, I mean, it is. Now I see it. Watching it again for the podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, it has all his hallmarks, all his notes and beats, and you see why he does what he does today. And I think it's kind of, you see essentially the fundamental of how he makes stories and all the little details, and I love.
What is Christopher Nolan's worst film?
I mean, I guess.
This one?
I say it's Insomnia.
Boo!
I like
You're
this one more than
high.
Insomnia.
I love
You're
Insomnia.
high.
I like this one more than
You
Insomnia.
cannot say Insomnia is better.
I like this one more than Insomnia, too. I'm going to be
No.
on your side.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
I'm going to be on your
let's
side
be
with
real.
that one.
It's got to be between those two, right? Does anyone agree that well, Nick might say Interstellar, but I don't know if you can say Interstellar is not better because, I mean, holy cow.
No, Insomnia is my second favorite Christopher Nolan movie, Ty.
I know it is yours, but you're weird. So
Yeah, you are
So
weird.
you count,
your
Jordan.
vote's invalid.
Yeah. What person thinks Insomnia is their favorite Nolan film or second favorite? What's your first, Jordan?
Anyways, Dunkirk. So
Dunkirk.
Better than Dark. You have an Insomnia in front of Dark Knight. You make me sick.
yeah.
That is pretty
I agree
sick.
with
That is
Cameron.
pretty
No.
That's
I
pretty
think
messed up,
Dunkirk.
dude.
I think The Dark Knight is a better made film, but in my top 3 of movies I enjoy.
Yeah, that's okay. I agree.
I'd rather
I like that.
It's
Rewatch.
okay. It's wrong though.
But that's why I'm asking, though.
How is that wrong?
What is the least
What I
favorite?
like. That makes no
Thankfully-
sense.
Thankfully,
Baby.
I'm so
Oh
grateful
my
I can point to
gosh.
Insomnia and say I like it less than Following, because I love Following.
I just have to say I'm really proud of Nick for being on this episode because usually we just do action flicks, and I was shocked that you were like interested to seeing like a sophisticated like.
I had no idea what I was getting myself.
Nick, he's calling you dumb.
No, I know what he's calling me.
No.
Jordan's like, it's an action-packed thriller.
No, he was like, you're gonna have to watch this black and white, and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude, I don't care. So I didn't think much of it until it got to like, the day before the pod, and he reminded me to watch, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I did.
It's a tight 70 minutes. I don't even know if I can manage 70 minutes.
And I looked and I'm like, I wonder how long this movie is. And hour long. I'm like, okay, this I can manage. This I can do.
I could do that.
I could watch this movie 3 times and it's still shorter than some other movies.
Shorter than his other movies, right?
Yeah.
Nolan's other movies, yeah. Yeah, we just did Interstellar. It's 2 hours and 48 minutes long. It's like nearly 3 hours long, dude.
Well, did you enjoy it, Nick? What was it like watching it the first time?
Watching the first time was yesterday. I never saw this again before, but I didn't know what to expect. The first 5 minutes, I'm like, this is going to be a horrible movie. I really did. I don't know what was happening in 5 minutes, but after that, started kind of drawing me in just a little bit more, and I started to understand the movie a little bit better. And I was actually pleasantly surprised, even the second time. I liked it more the second time.
Yes.
But still the first time I was still kind of like edging in and out, but the second time I was kind of glued to it. I'm like, what did I miss? What's going on?
Did you watch it back to back, Nick? Or
I did watch it. Well, yes. Still so much shorter than other movies.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
ones.
it's an hour long. You could watch this pretty quickly. It's crazy.
Right, and I was even able to take a break in between watching it twice. So.
Love it. All right, Cameron, how about you? Watching the movie for the first time and rewatching it for the pod?
So I've also only had the chance to watch it once. And similar to Jordan, I was watching it and I was just tired as shiz. So halfway through, I took a nap.
How dare you?
And then I finished the second half. I noticed as soon as I started watching it, like in the beginning, like it had just that old kind of wait until dark, just a very slow. I could tell it was gonna be a slow burn from the beginning. And I was like, this is something I've got to commit and be patient with because I know it'll like finish strong and.
All 70 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, like up to the very last minute, it's very what's it called? It's very every moment matters. But
Yes.
It was really enjoyable.
I took a screenshot, Cameron, of your face because your eyes were so wide. Like I could see the whites of your eyes like bulging out of your head. Like it was so funny because you were so like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a wild. But kind of like Jordan said, you just like the more I get to know Christopher Nolan's like filmmaking style, I'm like, wow. I'm just so glad he linked up with Hans Zimmer, man, because like this score it's good, but like man, when he links up with Hans Zimmer, because you can tell there's moments in this movie with the score, I'm like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it. 2 of our favorite things. Let's start with you, Jordan.
It'd probably have to be his storytelling ability. I just like all the little mannerisms and the different way people like talk to each other and the unraveling of everything. It's such a bizarre, interesting story. Like Ty said, it feels like Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, it's black and white, and it's also got this feeling of like unraveling, uncovering something. It's a noir film. It's like you're kind of solving the case with as he's telling the story. So it's just a fascinating movie. It's so interesting.
Your second favorite thing?
Well, I kind of said like 10 within that one, so I don't want to take everything from you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Nick, how about you?
Leave
2
some
of
for
your
the
favorite
rest of
things.
us.
I know, I'm sorry.
There's only 70 minutes in the film runtime, all right? Not too much to talk about.
I'll be 100% honest. One of my favorite things about this movie was the fact that it was so short. And yes, it was a little slow. But
It's a tight movie.
I feel like every part that was in there was relevant in some way. Like some of the other movies we've done even on the pod or we've seen, there's all this wasted time on wasted crap that I don't care about. And at least this one, I'm like, all right, I could deal with it,
What movies have you been on where there was wasted crap, Nick? I have to think back. Are you referring to Insomnia? What other movies?
Well, Insomnia
Upgrade?
was definitely one of them. If you want to, that was a prime example
disagree.
of wasted time.
Wasted time, Insomnia. Al Pacino shooting a dog in the alley.
Right.
It's important.
Who's
Wrapped
already
up
dead,
in
Tom.
garbage bag.
My second favorite thing, though, was the little double twist there. The
Yes.
movie. Like it's bringing you one way and completely like it wasn't about that what you thought about at all. It was about the woman. It was all about taking out the chick, and he went through all of this trouble to do that. I was kind of shocked a little bit.
Absolutely. All right, Cameron, let's get your two favorite things.
I think my favorite thing, just Christopher Nolan is just the master of like the crescendo. He finishes his films so strong. It blows my mind because like that's one thing that you can kind of separates. I feel like good directors from like great directors, is because like a lot of directors can kind of get your attention and stuff like that, but like having an unsatisfying ending to a movie is like one of the most frustrating things ever. Where you're just like, that wasn't it, and so just being able to wrap up a film very quickly, especially like high complex ideas and like a lot of stuff happening very well, is super important. And he just does it so well in this movie. And I just love because I waited to watch the last 6 minutes of the movie. So, because I watched it, like the first 40 minutes, and then I watched like the next 20 minutes, and I watched like the last 6 minutes of the movie separated from all of it. And just like, so much happens in that last 6 minutes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. And then kind of like Jordan mentioned, my eyes were just like bulging.
Well, I love when that cop's like, we're not looking for a missing girl or a dead girl, and it's like, what? Or an old woman, the one that was beaten to death.
There's no old woman that was never beaten to death. It's crazy.
And I think my second favorite thing is I just really enjoy, like, I love how Christopher Nolan can tie everything, kind of goes along with the crescendo, but being able to tell different timelines, like, even though it's out of order, he gives you visual cues and treats you as an intelligent viewer to where you can kind of follow along, but at the same time not being like, hey, this is this. Hey, this is this. Hey, this is like, he's just like, we'll show you, but then it'll flow really well to where you're picking it up and you're like, okay. And that's why I don't like usually watching movies like this with a crowd, because I hate when people are like, I don't get what's going on. Wait, what is it? Is this in the future? And you're just like, pay attention. Like, I know it's hard to keep your attention span for that long, but like, pay attention. So that's what I think he does really well. It's just in this film, especially kind of keeping you like linked in, because kind of like Nick mentioned, it's a short, like hour, 10 minutes, but like every scene is really important. So you need to be paying attention to every part, because there's a lot of good callbacks.
For sure. Yeah, the callbacks, that's a great one, Cameron. I love the non-linear. It's very Nolan-y when you watch this, but it is very surprising to see how subtle this film is. Like, I love noir, and I love small indie films, and this is like, if you were a film student, this would be like the film that I would dream to make. Like, something very tight. It's got like 4 or 5 different characters, and it's so good because the callbacks are, this movie doesn't let up. Like, that's my second favorite thing about it, is how the movie crescendos to the very end, and every single secret that's revealed, it makes the story like 10 layers more interesting, and each character much more complicated and three-dimensional. Because at first, like, you kind of have most people pegged and figured out, but the people that are the ones that are preying upon the innocent, it's then flipped on them, and they're now victims at their own game, or outsmarted by someone else that's more conniving than they are. That's really cool, and that's just so well done. This movie reminds me a lot, like I said, Dial M for Murder from Alfred Hitchcock. It reminds me a little bit of Memento for sure. It also reminds me of, so I mentioned Dial M for Murder. What was the other
Double
one?
Indemnity?
Yes, thank you. Double Indemnity, the one I keep telling you to watch, Jordan. A lot of that, Double Indemnity. It's very akin to that, and it's really good. So those are my two favorite things. So do you guys have any nitpicks about this movie or things that bothered you?
The acting. So I'm sorry. The acting was terrible. The acting's not good.
Who didn't impress you, Nick? Was it all the characters, or?
Actually, I think Cobb is the only one that did impress me. You know, the woman, she was trying to come off, I think she was trying to, I don't know, I have this feeling that she was trying to play like this sexy chick role, but she wasn't really pulling that off. Not even close.
She wasn't pulling up being sexy?
No, she wasn't pulling
off
off being sexy or even pretending to be sexy at all, you know, and I just was like, I'm kind of annoyed by you. And the other main guy, he wasn't good either. His facial expressions, the way he moved his eyes, I'm like, I just wonder how good this movie could have actually been with like A-listers in it. Think about that. Now I get it. This movie was made on a $6,000 budget. He probably didn't even pay his actors. They just did it for fun, probably.
They were all actually working full-time jobs, and they could only film on Saturdays.
Right.
Jeez.
So, I mean, I give them that. I mean, you're not going to be pulling out, you know, top talent on a $6,000 budget, but that was kind of nitpicky. I'm like, Could be
Okay,
a little better.
I did not like. Okay, the punches kind of took me out of the film. The punches after watching movies like John Wick and what's the other one we just watched in the Nobody, and then I watched punches like this. It's like, I'm like, that looks like our videos, Jordan, that we made the Mormon capturing. I'm like, that looks like the bar fight scene.
Yeah, it's funny to hear you guys pick it apart because I understand everything that you're saying. I guess I was surprised. Like, I was surprised to see those kinds of elements in a film that was like on a shoestring budget. And it's funny that you mentioned that because there was things where I'm like, okay, actually, this is a very, very cheap movie to make in a way, and that shows like the few apartments that they visit, the few sets that they have. You know, it's
cast.
Very small.
Yeah.
Very small cast. Like I read a lot of names, but you really only like. Here are the names. It's the young man, there's Cobb, the blonde, the policeman, the bald guy, homeowner, waitress, barman, accountant. Like, those are the names of these stars. Like, no one does introductions. You get to meet Cobb and you get to meet the young man, which is really weird that the young man, I don't even know, I guess, do we even learn Jeremy's character's name? I can't remember it. We know Cobb. He's
the policeman is the only person I actually know because he's in Dunkirk and he's also in Person of Interest and in Batman Begins as well.
Which is weird. His name is John Nolan. Is that Christopher Nolan's dad or not? It's not his dad, is it?
You should Google it.
Because John Nolan, I'm assuming he would use his dad, wouldn't he?
It might be. Let's look at John Nolan.
It says he has 2 children. It doesn't say who his kids are. Uncle of director Christopher Nolan. So he's the uncle. There you go.
Ooh, uncle.
That's pretty awesome. So yeah, he used his own family. And he's actually been in one of his other films, actually. I can't remember which one.
Batman Begins. And Dunkirk.
Begins, right, yeah, and Dunkirk. Well, there you go. So, yeah, it's crazy because you're like, yeah, use family. Why not? You know, you got to use your uncle. Yeah, just use family to act in your $6,000 film.
Stanley Kubrick kept a lot of stuff in the family. Like, he would have as editors and people he worked with in filming.
The only people that could tolerate him, right? People you could be mean to. It's like, yeah, you can be mean to me because we're family, and I know this is important to you. I understand. Okay, real quick, I wanted to ask you guys, do you guys have boxes in your house? I have a box. I actually do, and it's funny. He was absolutely right. It doesn't have anything valuable in it. It's just the sentimental stuff. It has like pictures. It has drawings that my kids have made, things like that. And I'm like, he's absolutely right. I have one of those boxes. So
I have a couple boxes.
You have a couple boxes, right? Yeah, right. What is it like? Is it a shoe box?
I have an old cigar box for the nice stuff.
I have one like I got for Halloween one year from the Great Pumpkin that has my name Cameron and like wood stickers.
Nice.
And you know, it's like one of my favorite parts about the film that I think is super interesting is, did you know that like Christopher Nolan, so he kind of relates to the protagonist sort of, because he actually was inspired to make this film because he got broken into and he wondered what the people were thinking while looking through his stuff. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Thank you for robbing Christopher Nolan. I'm so glad he lived in a terrible flat where he got broken into. Crappy side of the neighborhood.
Whoever is that guy who robbed him, we owe you for every great movie that he's made to this day. You're the inspiration behind Batman Begins, Dark Knight, everything.
Yeah, how did he make the Interstellar? He was like, once I was out in space and I just thought, what is the astronaut thinking when he's going through a wormhole?
I traveled through a black hole and I just wanted to depict my feelings. Just like, wait, what?
And Nolan, man, dude, he's a gift sent to us. I know a lot of people think I overpraise him. I think I'm so grateful he makes entertaining films.
Only he would think about that, like, he's kind of like that crazy person when he's like, what does it feel like? Reminds me of when he asked the girls, like, what does it feel like to get robbed? And she's like, normally people ask what they took.
Yeah.
That's what I think of with Christopher
Kinda
Nolan when he was
creepy.
like, I wonder what they were thinking when they were looking through my stuff. Normally people were like, what type of sicko stole my stuff or whatever.
Right. Or it feels like a violation, you know? Has anyone here been broken into? I haven't. But, that's a lie. While I was on my mission in Chile, we got broken into, so it kind of felt scary. I'm like, what if they came back in the night and they'll decide to kill us, you know?
Yeah, I've been robbed a couple times. It's not fun.
I have not.
Nick's had lived a privileged life. I'm kidding, Nick. You're like, I've been smart, guys. Don't go in those back alleyways. Never travel alone.
Now it would be a mistake to try to rob me now, especially if I'm home. It's not gonna be.
Yeah, it
good.
reminds me of the movie Nobody, Nick. I wish they broke into my house. I could have used the exercise.
That's about right. I could use the target practice. That is.
Wait, I'm kind of curious, really quick. The girl, Cameron, you were asking me earlier the question: was she actually dating that bartender, or was that all made up?
Yeah, is that just all made up? I'm curious because it sounded like the guy was working for the boss to like.
I think that was all made up, though. I think they made up that whole story to get the guy to, I think from the very beginning, remember he said, I was following you. So not only was he thought he was following him, but he was actually following him.
The one thing is, the guy when he was at the card table, he did look over there a few times.
Well, he's a bartender. I mean,
that's fair. But while he's playing poker, it did look like he was like looking at her an awful lot. So it could be left ambiguous, but
maybe just because he thought she was attractive too.
Yeah, and then he smiled when she slapped him, so it made sense with all the things that was going on. But maybe he was like, "Oh, now I have a shot at her," but didn't actually have a relationship with her. The guy didn't really say anything before he got his head smashed in when he went to his bar and found his freaking safe being broken into. Crazy. I love that. Even to the weapon plant, that was so freaking good.
Okay. Also, a quick nitpick. Why would you smash someone's fingers before smashing in their skull?
Yes, you have to be a sociopath to do that. Like,
what is the purpose of that? Like, not even to get information. It's just like,
no, it's for making him feel pain. Yeah.
Boom! Like, what the?
It's about making him feel it, because if you hit him with the head,
and then it's over. Yeah, Cameron, you of all people would know, you psychopath.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
Guys, the overlaps in all these movies is super crazy. I'm not kidding. Like Interstellar, I noticed there was something that reminded me of.
You really like Interstellar. That's the 9th or 10th time you've mentioned it.
Yes, he does.
How many times have you seen that movie?
It's 2 times.
In every one of Nolan's films, he mentions something in another one. So, like, one of them that I thought of was Dark Knight. Dark Knight, when he says, "How about a magic trick?" It made me think of the movie Prestige, because, like, the Joker's talking about magic, and the whole movie of Prestige is about magicians, right? And then in this movie, it reminds me...
It's all conspiracy. It's in the same universe.
The Nolan universe, yeah, exactly. It could be, except...
Was there a noble lie in this movie?
The noble lie, there was many lies told, but yeah, the noble lie, there wasn't necessarily the noble.
Yeah, what's the noble lie, Ty?
I guess the noble lie...
That there's somebody following you at all times.
Wait, Cameron, it's shadowing. Is that the word the kids are using these days?
Real quick, I have a question, guys. Could this be a figment, because at the very end, are we to understand that Cobb really did exist and plant all this, or was this a clever story that our protagonist was trying to create so he didn't get caught? I like to believe Cobb really did exist, because it's really awesome to think that there's this really evil guy that had a sinister plan to get our protagonist in a lot of trouble and plant all the evidence on him. What do you guys think? Do you think
I'm not sure there's anything in the movie that would point to that.
Suggest that Cobb isn't real? Well, one thing I would suggest,
mad ICU vibes.
At the very end is when he disappears, like, kind of strangely, right? Like, he's there for a minute, people walk by and he's gone.
No, but he had even mentioned earlier that he would stay in houses, and like he's just a master at setting up plans. Like,
no, I get it. I was just curious to see if there was anything there, because like at the very end he like disappears, and I guess we're to understand like, oh, he won't get caught, right? He's gone, yeah. But it's like, is it fantastical? Because at the very end it's so perfect. He goes, "Whose handwriting is that there?" It's his. Everything.
Yeah, because earlier he asked him, "I need you to sign this."
I know why it happened. Okay. Slow down. I know why it all happened.
Jordan, explain to him. I don't think Ty understood.
Yeah. Just real quick, yeah.
I don't understand.
Cobb framed him so perfectly, but what I'm saying is it possible that he was trying to take, like, he bashed this woman's brains in, and
triple twist,
because he made a
triple twist.
Yeah, the
you
triple
thought
twist.
It was one thing, they made you think it was another thing, and it wound up being nothing at all.
This is the director's cut by Ty. Yeah. It's actually that doesn't exist.
He's an unreliable narrator.
It was all in his head the whole time. Like, what?
It's all in a dream. It's part of Inception.
Yeah. This is just a turtle's fart out in space somewhere.
I'm going to take this as another Interstellar reference.
Yeah, that happens in Interstellar,
11.
too.
That's 12.
Yeah. Anytime I mention the title, no.
I don't know how many times it's actually been, but it's
for sure. We just got done talking about it, so I think that's great. I liked entertaining the idea.
Me and Jordan got done talking about it. Ty's not done talking about it.
He's clearly not.
I can't let it go.
It's going to be on the next podcast, too. Interstellar, man. I saw that again for the 19th time.
It's so good, man. So, following. I liked your guys' nitpicks. I think they're valid. And anything,
dude,
I believe Cobb exists. I do believe he is a real person.
I thought of Wolf of Wall Street and War Dogs, is it? That when he was strapping the money to himself?
Yeah, that was crazy. Taping money.
That reminded me of American Made.
I have a solution. All he has to do is tuck in his shirt, tie his belt really tight, and stuff his money full of shirt. Just saying.
I would just use the jacket, put all the jacket,
money full of shirt,
took it all
stuff
out.
His shirt full of money. I mean,
he spent way too much time taping all that money up. I would just throw it in the jacket and just bunch the jacket up and ran out with I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna tape.
He's looking for something too. It's like, how do you not?
Right. But let's be real. If someone's carrying their jacket, like, I mean, it does look sus. That's all I'm saying.
Am I gonna think, oh, they have millions of dollars in there? No.
I don't know. Why would someone else be running with their jacket bunched up? All I'm saying is
They might
my
have
way is
something
better.
in it. I
You
don't
just
know.
look like you have a beer gut, a lumpy, creepy beer gut.
You get in.
Because you
It
stuff.
takes you 15 minutes to be right next to a dead body too. It's like, what?
I'm all about the in and out because you don't know if those guys are going to come back. And if they do, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
And they're going to smash your fingers and they're going to blow your face off.
This along with ICU, dude, movies, that gives me so much anxiety of just like the thought of committing a crime and staying at the scene of the crime for like as long as possible blows my mind, dude. Fetching psychopaths. Like, and he's like, you think we do this for the money?
Yeah.
For the adrenaline? No, I was like, okay.
He might as well have poured himself a drink and waited for them to come by.
My
Like
gosh.
they did in the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, you think the house looks great? And I was like, what the fudge? And then he's like, clearly that's not her husband. I'm just like, this man is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers.
I liked that bait and twist. I loved that because in the end he was looking at their reaction. He goes, the guy didn't say anything, right? Because he's probably like, who are these people in your apartment? Like, who is this chick that I'm about to hook up with? You know, it's like, I really like that.
Well,
but,
and I thought he was like genuinely a cruel person, not just to break into homes and steal stuff, but to like mess with their minds psychologically.
ruin marriages.
leave underwear to ruin.
Yeah, what?
But then he's like, oh, but now she's got dirt on him because she was the one that was unfaithful. I love that part. He's like, I feel bad about doing that now.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
no,
thought
okay,
that was
I
great.
thought it was gonna be like Burn After Reading though. I thought they were gonna kill them in there.
Oh.
Like, what's it called when they walked in, and then I was like, oh,
Oh my
and then
gosh,
especially when he said like, oh, it's not the husband or whatever. I'm like, oh man, it's about to get exactly like Burn After Reading or whatever. Brad Pitt.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Do you think they believed you? Of course they didn't freaking believe me. I love that. He's like, oh, we did the inspection or what, right? Like, he made up some lie on the spot. Cobb was so smooth, dude. He was great.
Dude, do we think that the woman would have come up to him at the restaurant? At the restaurant when she noticed him. When he was like, when you get out.
Oh, yeah, he started freaking out. He's like, yeah, we got to get out of here. She's going to
'cause what's
recognize
she
me. I
gonna
think he was
say?
just panicked. I think it just shows how jumpy he was. I don't think and again, like he
What's she
said,
supposed
he's
to
like,
say?
those
Yeah, I
guys
came
were in the
home.
apartment. He's like, why didn't you tell me this? Oh, I came home one time with some other
And
guy.
then they're gonna say,
I found him
oh
there.
yeah, there was another guy there. Now, I'm sure he'll be a little bit more upset about the cheating than the burglary.
And Cobb alludes to that. He's like, she's not going to say anything or whatever. And he's like, we got to go. And he's like, we left without taking dessert. He was super pissed about that.
Paying with someone else's credit card.
Cobb was so smooth. I also like it's funny. Oh, this is the tie-in to Inception. Cobb is Leonardo DiCaprio's character's name. So this is a tie-in to Inception. I'm just saying he pays homage to all of his films one way or another. I'm just saying. Cobb is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. So just think that's really interesting.
Excellent.
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 In Ty, the girl, she's a girl, and Elliot Page was a girl.
Bing freaking go. Who says that? Oh, I love that too. It was so sad when they broke into his own apartment. He wanted to see
that how you
how
say
good.
it?
That's a bingo. Yeah. That's what it made me think of Inglourious.
Yeah, just say bingo.
I thought it was so sad when they broke into his own apartment and he like was able to peg him so well, and he's like, this guy's a failed person living on welfare and everything. And he's like, I don't want to.
No, well, did you hear that later that he was like that he knew it was him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, the guy bought a new mat so he could hide a key under it. You know, it's like that was so sad. He like knew it right away, like it was his own. And the guy, he was like, maybe he's not a loser or whatever.
Yes.
And he's trying to defend him. He's like, maybe he's not as big of a loser as you're saying.
Yeah.
He's like, no, the guy's a freaking.
Oh, he's
loser,
unemployed.
You know? Unemployed.
Doesn't
and he
work at a
found the
bank.
benefits stamp. Yeah, he doesn't work at a bank. Yeah, he's like, maybe he's a banker. He's never home. That was so sad. That made me feel so bad for our protagonist. It's so pathetic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gotta say, man. Other things that you guys wanted to say or
Well, and
quotes?
another reason I think Christopher Nolan has seen into the future is because this is seriously like a total, not allegory, but it's essentially, it's the future of social media. Like following, like that's literally what people do these days. Is they just follow people on social media. And this is what he's doing. Like he's just,
Break into their homes.
Well, Nolan, yeah. Following
And
it
according to
anyway.
Ty and Jordan, what you do when you stalk a girl is you stalk her and you push her down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, dude. For some reason, I was thinking of What's Up, Doc when I thought of that. When
Oh,
he goes,
yeah.
you need to stall her, and he goes, charm, charm, and he walks up to her and he trips her.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene, Cameron? That's what I was thinking when I said that. Just wanted to clear that 3 podcasts later.
That's the most aggressive trip of all whole time.
Yes, and she falls on her face, and then he like tries to talk to her, and then she keeps trying to run away from him, and she starts swinging her bag at him, and then bites him in the leg. Just I had to clear that up. That was why I initially said it, but it was like lost because people haven't seen What's Up Doc, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted to clear that up for podcasts later. Any other quotes or things that you guys wanted to say about this? Again, love the twists and turns it takes, and the saddest thing. Okay, so Jordan, you mentioned, did she actually go out the bar guy? I think it's possible that she didn't, because in the end, how did the pictures get in the safe? So yeah, they had to be there, right? They were just planted pictures.
Yeah, weren't they just regular pictures?
They were nothing.
So it wasn't all.
They were nothing, but
That's why I don't think the guy really.
but see, if they could get into the safe, they had to make it look like he broke into the safe and killed him there with the hammer. They knew he would be there at the time. That's why they had him go there. He was their fall guy. So I think it was partially true, because in the end, the only reason she knew the combination to the safe is that she actually had a relationship with the guy. Because if they knew the money, they would just take him, and they didn't know him. But she must have known him. I think that's what we're to assume, because she knew this combination, but she couldn't take the money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, because the guy would know it was them unless they've had a fall guy, right? Does that make sense? So does everyone agree with that? That was what I took away from it.
Saying she must have known who?
She must have been in a relationship with the bar guy. I don't think that's part of the story was made up, because she
The
had
old guy?
The guy that they killed.
the guy that he kills with the hammer. The guy that owns the safe.
Oh.
Because her photos were in the safe, so she had access to the safe.
That guy, wait, the guy that, I don't...
Or he did. I don't know who put the pictures there. In the end, the pictures were a fraud, because they thought they were super scandalous of her, but it was just her just chilling. You know, like they weren't blackmail pictures by any means. I love that too. He wasn't honest, and he's like, oh, but I freaking could have died, you know, like bringing these pictures or whatever. I killed the guy. Oh my gosh, it was so intense. And she's like, I trusted him not to look at the photos or whatever. At the very end, the disturbing story she tells of the mob boss, it's what he eventually ends up doing to her, right? Like, he ends up killing her on the rug or whatever, right? Is that what I'm to understand as well? Like,
That's what he does, yeah.
he ends up murdering her because he goes, we found her body, you know, because he's like, we found her. What do you mean you found her or whatever? And he's like, she was killed, right? By freaking cops. I guess it's just super disturbing. They never found her grandma, but they found him, and he was killed in the same manner by a hammer like he did to the bartender guy.
I wonder what relation she had with the mob guy originally. Because, like, he was at her house more than one time. And he murdered someone in her house. So, like, they must have been connected. You don't just, unless he just randomly went into someone's house, murdered some dude.
I guess she said, yeah, she was with him for a long time and then really got frightened, she said, the first time when I found out what he was capable of.
So were they, like, together?
Probably a long time together. And then once you find out you're dating a mob, like, you don't just divorce or leave, right? Like, can you break up with a mobster? It's like,
is that allowed?
I'll probably break my legs or smash my hand with a hammer and bash my brains
And
in.
then smash your head. But not before he smashes your fingers.
Are we to understand that Cobb only did that because he didn't actually want to go with the girl? Like, because why would he end up doing... Because he didn't work for the mob boss, did he? Because he was doing this for his own selfish reasons, right? But he ends up killing her in a similar way. So the fall guy...
Was he connected? So he was connected to him in some way.
What I thought was originally, before talking to Jordan, is I thought, like, Cobb was working for the mob boss, trying to... because he knew that she was, like, trying to backstab him, and he wanted her to, like, think that she was one step ahead.
I think he was sleeping around with her, and I don't think the mob boss knew, and I don't think he was actually a henchman for the mob boss, but he saw an opportunity to be able to kill the girl in the same manner that Cobb beat the barman.
No, they worked for him, because remember, he said, the old man's letting me keep the money.
The old man's letting me keep the money.
At the end, before he killed her, he said, the good news is the old man is letting me keep the money.
She does say that.
Wait, the old man is... Wait, who's the old man? Sorry, who said that?
For one second there, I thought Cobb was the son of the mob boss for a moment there. I'm like, is that his son? But I don't know.
He said he's letting me keep the money, but what would that mean, though? Is that after he had his head smashed in? Because he was killed.
Guys, I think what happens is that safe was the old man's safe. Okay, that was all part of the plan. The safe was the old man's safe. He took the money out of the safe, and somehow the Cobb, got the money and is keeping the money. He said the old man's letting me keep the money. So I think he was either somehow related to the old man, to the mob boss, or was hired by the mob boss. How else would he have known how to kill that person? Exactly like that.
I thought how it was is that, like, the mob boss, because they had broken up, he wanted that guy to follow her, and then once he started following her, he kind of fell in love with her, And so then he was like, hey, let's like frame my boss and steal his money, and then we can get out of here. But then he was like, he knew that she could lead him to the crime, so he killed her too, because he's just so
I will
bad.
have to rewatch this movie. It's only a tight 70 minutes. I'll probably watch it tonight. But I do have to see that again, because I am curious where Cobb initially got introduced. I feel like it had to do with the lady femme fatale character, right? Like, I think she was the whole reason. I am curious about that, right? Like, I just assume that it's like he saw an opportunity and he was the most selfish person ever because he was willing to kill her and frame the protagonist,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's very, very apparent that all happens. But yeah, I am curious to know maybe he had a closer tie-in, because he ended up going with her and then lying and pretending to be a friend to the protagonist. You know, it's he's pretty manipulative. You know,
Yes.
he is the devil. He's Loki. You know, he's
Well, she's pretty
mischievous.
manipulative too. I mean, she was playing everybody.
Oh yeah, she was willing to go along with it too. Yeah,
She had no idea though.
exactly. Like how dark Cobb was. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
When he's like, did you enjoy sleeping with him? She's like, did you enjoy beating him? And he's like, of course. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
I
Those are some
know, right? It's
sickos.
like, of course. Yeah. When he said of course, I was like, oh, that's the kind of guy you're dealing with.
I'm telling
right?
you guys, they have some connection. I'm almost convinced that Cobb is like his son or something. I don't know. I have this
Yeah,
weird
dude,
feeling.
son of a mob boss,
I
that
have
makes
this weird
sense.
feeling.
Well, no, but he said he enjoyed beating the protagonist because he punched the
Yeah, yeah.
protagonist when they got in that scuffle on the.
Well,
on
he's
the
a
rooftop.
psycho. The old man's obviously a psycho, and the old man came. The old man came before Cobb. She sees this murder and she starts blackmailing the old man. The old man gets Cobb involved, and he wants her dead. So he has Cobb devise this entire plan to kill this girl and pin it on someone else, so he gets away free and clear.
And he double crosses him by having the old man. Or wait, was the old man the guy at
No
the
one
bar?
double crosses. He talks to the old man.
The old man is at the bar though, right? That gets killed.
I don't know who
right?
gets killed, but I don't know if it's the old man.
Maybe it's not the old man.
Didn't look like him, because I was looking, I'm like, who is that? But I'm pretty sure that it was the old man's plan the entire time. That was all him to get the girl to stop, hustling him for money, pretty much. Blackmailing him for the murder and the rug, because she had the rug. So she had all this proof to bring him down. So he gets Cobb on him, kill this girl, can't have any connection to me whatsoever.
Yeah, because at the end he's like, I did hear something about a rug, and then he like throws her down or whatever. He's about to kill
It
her.
was all the old man's plan from the very beginning, to stop the blackmail.
I like that.
So initially, but then Cobb twists it one more time, right? and
I
gets
don't
away
think
with
Cobb
it or
twisted
not?
at all.
Oh,
I think the
no.
money was his payment, and he just went on with his life. He was either a hired hand or he
Interesting.
was a relative or something. I don't think he cared at all about that chick.
I'm sure he saw an opportunity when he found out this kid was following him, the protagonist.
Yeah, because it is sad to think that the protagonist followed him, and then he confronts him at the diner, right?
Well, she said, in the movie, she said that he was following him. He was looking for someone that would look like him, someone that he could take advantage of.
Yeah, and so he saw a guy that, and he even got him to cut his hair, though. He said roughly looks like him, right? Yeah.
It was all a master plan to kill the chick. That's it. It was
That's
a very
crazy.
Interesting.
well thought out plan.
But he got close with the chick, and I guess the chick thought she was on the home free. Like, where did she feel like she was safe, right? Like,
She was never safe.
oh, she was never safe.
Not from the second she met Cobb.
I know, but where did she get off thinking she was safe? I guess because of Cobb. Like, she was convinced that Cobb was there to save her and then get the old man killed and frame it on this fall guy. Yeah. Take the money, live happily ever after. It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. This movie's crazy.
Well, the whole story was made up in the first. I mean, even what he told the chick was completely made up. He told the chick that he was in trouble because he walked in an apartment with an old lady that was dead. That's the whole buy-in. That's how he
That
roped her
story
in.
never happened, yeah.
It was nothing about the old man. She didn't know anything about the old man whatsoever.
He's an unreliable narrator.
Dude, Cobb, man. What a malicious person. Holy cow. Gotta say, that's great. Nick, I'm so grateful I have you. I'm glad you watched it twice. See, I need to see it at least one more time, dude. I've only seen it once, so all that was going over my head.
This is why Nick's got all the good theories.
Yes, watch it twice in a row. You always catch stuff.
Back to back, man.
Back to back.
The box, man. The movie. It tells a story.
in the box?
I don't even think I caught all that stuff, and I watched it 3 times. I'm still lost. I'm so confused.
Take notes. No, but it happens so fast. The movie
It
doesn't
all
let
gets
up.
explained at the
No,
end, man. It's
great.
all at the end of the movie. It all pieces it together. What he says to her.
Yeah.
It all kind of pieces everything together. If you think about all the things that happened in the movie, the old lady, all these things come together, and it was all a master plan to kill the girl. And
I
it was
still
by
think
the
that
old
he
man.
was sleeping with.
Of course he was sleeping with her. She was attractive.
But,
Why
like,
not?
I was just saying, I was literally just about to say, I don't think that bald guy would have been okay with that. But then again, I'm like,
Bald
he
guy
was
didn't
gonna have
care.
her killed. So
The bald guy did not care about
but he
her.
wouldn't want her to be slept with.
He just didn't want to get. He just didn't want to get blackmailed and extorted anymore. It was the mob boss was tired of getting extorted. Because the guy said, Cobb said at the end, "You got too greedy. You got too greedy. That's why I'm killing you, because you got too greedy."
He said that to her, right? Yeah.
He says that to her. You got too greedy, and that's how I knew right there. He's connected to the old man. He's been hired by him. His son, I don't know. He's something.
That's right. That's right. That line, it now makes sense because I didn't understand. Like, I thought it was just like the plan they had, the plot to frame the young man. You got too greedy or something. Like, because I thought she was saying you got too greedy with Cobb. Like, I guess
No.
Cobb felt like you got too greedy with me is what I understood.
No.
Like you wanted it, and that's so funny. I didn't understand that.
She
Yeah,
got too greedy with the old man.
you got too greedy with the old man.
That's where it all stemmed from.
Crazy.
I know. I see
crazy.
Jordan's face. He's like, "What?"
Nick with the good
You
theories.
just go back and watch it, man. It all comes together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Jordan, go back and watch it.
Take what I said, and then when you watch it again, just watch it like tonight. You have some more time. It's early by you still.
All right, guys. Last minute things you wanted to say about the following. All right. Well, I would definitely. Do we all recommend this movie? I recommend this movie. I think it's a good one. It's a really fun indie film.
Definitely.
If you like film study,
If you like film.
yeah,
If you like film, I think there's something to enjoy. I mean,
If you like good low budget
I-
movies, this
Ty,
is it.
Ty, would you recommend
Good
this
low
movie to
budget
anyone in our family? Like, no, it's not like a super fun film.
not the family. I like this movie, and I'm gonna watch it again with my wife. My wife.
Exactly. It's if you're really interested into like film and learning more about Christopher Nolan's style, definitely watch it.
after you've watched all his other movies,
Or you could start with this.
starting with Insomnia.
But you could leave out Insomnia and watch this.
No,
yeah.
starting with Insomnia.
Starting with Insomnia because it just gets better from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, start with Insomnia and then watch all of Nolan's films and be like,
Oh,
they just get better.
whatever. Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry, Jordan. We all agree that Insomnia is the worst film.
It's the best.
Besides the following.
Oh.
It was between, I hate saying this, but like out of all of Nolan's films, like for some reason I wanted to put The Prestige, but I'm like, that's too impressive to
Prestige
be
is
under following. Like there's so many moving parts to that. So yeah, it's like, it's either
I
following.
think it goes these two and then Dark Knight Rises. Maybe.
Memento, maybe, but I like Memento. Yeah, it's so hard.
Mento's good.
How do you rank Nolan's films? Like, how do you make the worst? One of them has to be the worst, and objectively speaking, it has to be Al Pacino.
Well, that's what I tell Jordan. I'm like, because this is my lowest rated Nolan film, and it's an 8 out of 10. So I mean, and then his second,
Wait, what did you give it? Insomnia.
a 9 out of 10.
Oh, so you liked it better? Then you objectively think that Jordan's right, then, Cameron.
No, he just said
You think
it's-
Insomnia is better
I
than
said, this
Following?
Is, no, yeah, I've said that from the beginning. I said this is his worst film.
Oh, you think Following is the worst
Yeah,
film?
Insomnia
Got
is
it.
probably number 2. But see, we're saying worst. It's still amazing.
Me and Nick think that. Okay, sorry. I thought it was three of us versus Jordan. Yeah.
I would watch this one another 3 times before even having to watch Insomnia again.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I would too. I would
No.
too.
You watch
Insomnia
Insomnia
is more
one
punishing.
time,
Yep.
then bye. You know.
No.
Yeah, see, Jordan. To be fair, after I watched Insomnia, I only seen that movie twice. I will be watching Following again. Will not be watching
I
Insomnia.
watched Insomnia 3 times for the
No,
podcast.
see, that's what's funny. See, Insomnia might be my least favorite Christopher Nolan film, and I think it might like barely make my top 100. So
Oh well, okay, well, yeah, right. But I get what you're saying. Following, I think, goes somewhere in my top 100
High.
somewhere for sure.
good.
I like this movie.
smoking.
Hi, dude.
Cocaine, bro. What the f? This movie's in your top 100.
I like Following. Nick, we always end our podcast by sharing movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to seeing. What have you been watching lately?
I haven't really been watching much lately. Really, this is about it.
Watched Following 3
Watched
times.
Following a couple times. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
What you looking forward to?
Yeah, any movies you're looking forward to seeing?
I don't know, any recommendations?
Following again?
Following? No, just
No, Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man.
you'll
You
enjoy
need to
that.
go to the theater and see it so you can be on the podcast.
Nick, you should come to the theater with me. We gotta go see
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna have to wait till it comes out
No.
because I'm not going to the theater.
Go to the theater and watch it so you can be on the podcast. Ah, he stinks.
All them germs.
That's why he made me do this Following movie, because I wouldn't go to the theater to watch whatever movie he wanted.
Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man.
You want to see Wrath of Man with me, Nick, or not? You refuse to
Yes,
go to
see
the movie
what's high.
theater.
See what's high.
When are you going?
Haven't you been vaccinated, or
I
are you
have, but
concerned
still, the
about...
movie theater is still gross. I mean,
Ty, take Nick with you.
and I'm not like Jordan. I can't go to a movie theater by myself. That's not something
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you
that's
do.
really sad. I'll go with a
It's
friend. Yeah,
very
Nick. We'll
I go to the theater alone all the time.
That is pretty sad.
I know, but I've done it too. I've gone to see a movie theater.
Get
alone.
lost in a bucket of popcorn, just
Nick,
sadness.
I've seen Wrath of Man twice already in the theater.
By yourself?
No.
You're such a nerd. Oh my god. I love that smile, and you got big grin on your face right now. You like,
It's
I
so
know it.
good.
And I know it.
Yeah, Nick, we should go see it. Yeah, we'll coordinate. Hey, Nick, any other movies you're looking forward to seeing?
I'll say that's about it.
Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man, sure.
Yeah, sweet. And then, do you have a social media presence you want people to be aware of?
Oh, what about that website, Nick?
Check out, again, Oxit. Download it from the App Store. Type it in the search bar. Sign up first, obviously. And then in the search bar, sneakers and streetwear. You'll find us. Hit us up. We're a sneaker community. We love you guys.
And then your website?
Website's still
Oh, in the
under
process. That's right.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming on, Nick. We appreciate you on here. So everybody, futromovies@gmail.com. Leave us an email, write us a review, tell us a movie that you'd like us to review.
Check us out on
Leave us a
Spotify
comment,
and Patreon.
like us, push the like button, push the follow button, follow, subscribe, and all the different
Give
platforms.
us all of the
We
millions
sure
of
love
dollars you guys have on Patreon. We accept donations
Just remember,
anywhere
you
from
know.
$10 to $400,000 or 99 cents. We also take
All
99-cent
that
donations.
money. Love it, you know. At first, it's just following people, you know. Following? Yeah, you know.
Shadowing, Ty. He says shadowing.
Shadowing.
It's not following.
Sicko.
Oh, don't play psychologist with me, Jordan. So we're gonna end. This is Futuro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Cameron stalks people. Oh.
You know, you're developing a taste for it, Jordan. Of violating the voyeurism. It's definitely you.